So Lucas, Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, good game.
Alright, so Lucas, a bit more information is required for this. What are we talking about today?
No, just say Resident Evil 2, that's it.
Okay, Resident Evil 2 and the main bad guy. Is he the main bad guy? I've not played Resident Evil 2 in a while.
So he's, at least in the remake, he's like the main bad guy for the first portion of the game where you're in the police department.
And who are we talking about specifically?
That would be Mr. X, the stalker himself.
Yes, and you can find a link to the wiki we're reading from below. Without further ado, Lucas, I believe you are, at the time of recording this, one of the best people at playing Resident Evil 2 on the planet, or the remake at least, aren't you?
The remake, but then it's very confusing because it's split up into like 16 categories or whatever, but I'm in the top 100 of one of them.
Yeah, would you like to just clarify what I mean by that? So like people know, like, Lucas knows what he's talking about in this regard.
Yeah, I've done a few like speed runs, literally a few, so I'm not like an aficionado or anything, but in like the Claire A New Game Plus console version of the game, I'm like a top 100 speedrunner in that.
Yeah, and that's one of those weird things of like, if you get nitty gritty enough, you can be the best at anything in the world.
You can be, if you nail down it to be that precise.
You can be the best at anything in the world, but you've played Resident Evil 2 Remake a lot.
Yeah, I think I've completed it like 7-8 times.
And like, Mr. X, is he a threat when you get to that level of skill at playing a game?
Well, he's not a threat when you get an infinite rocket launcher, I'll tell you that.
The T-00, so not Mr. X, T-00, was a tyrant sent into Raccoon City during the 1998 Raccoon City destruction incident. The T-00 is one of 6 within the T-103 series that were airlifted into the city and was given instructions to recover a G-virus sample from the pendant of Sherry Birkin and kill any surviving officers and civilians it found in the Raccoon Police Station. Or the Raccoon City Police Station, it should say.
Yeah.
Already, you can see why Resident Evil is the best and the worst, because one of the things I will always give big props to the Resident Evil Series 4 is that everything is canon.
And I was actually talking about this on stream when I was doing my latest speedrun. It's like, I love Resident Evil so much because it's so stupid, but it's the kind of stupid that takes itself very seriously.
Yes, and as mentioned, everything Resident Evil related is canon. Every game, all the side games, and all of the movies, they are all canon. All that stuff happened. And when you get to like Resident Evil 8, and all the shit that's happened up to that point is canon, it's fucking hilarious. Because there is a bit in Resident Evil 8, like they have just, here is the bullshit lore dump room. Where they link every single game to Resident Evil 8. And I remember when I was playing this on stream, and I just got out my machine gun and shot the wall. Like, fuck this is so stupid, I love it. All you need to know is, big, buff, biological mutant man was sent in to fight a lady. And lady kicked his ass.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, technically the lady didn't kick his ass. Another big monster did. Mm-hmm. It's like the G monster or whatever. But
I love it so much.
Then it's one of those things that's so scary though. There's a zombie outbreak in Raccoon City, and this thing is getting sent in. Mr. X is getting sent in to sort shit out for Umbrella during the zombie apocalypse.
Which would be super badass if not for the fact that like 8 other characters in Resident Evil who do that.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got to give big shout outs to Special Agent Hunk, the man himself. Like probably the most badass non-character in anything since Boba Fett.
Well, not really. Tofu.
Oh yeah, Tofu's not canon though, Special Agent Hunk is.
Tofu's canon, Karl.
Is Tofu
Can't tell
canon?
me he's not.
He seems like he probably isn't canon.
I don't know, we'll find when we do a Wiki weekend about Tofu.
About Tofu, yeah. Well, Special Agent Hunk is canon. He's the guy you send in when shit's gone wrong. But, again, that'd be really badass if not for the fact you've already got like 5 other people who have that title.
Yeah.
And spoilers, we've read through this entry. It's a bit thin on the ground, but we want an excuse to talk about Resident Evil. So, what's your favourite Resident Evil protagonist and favourite Resident Evil antagonist?
Okay, so protagonist, probably just RE4 Leon.
Specifically RE4 Leon. Yeah. And here's the thing though, which version of RE4 Leon? Because you have Jacket Leon.
Oh no.
You have Body Armor Leon.
100% it's got to be Gangster Leon.
It's got to be Swag Leon.
With the Tommy gun so he can do the hat flip.
He's got to be Swag Leon, hasn't it?
Oh god, but like, also probably the best antagonist, other than obviously Wesker.
That's the obvious answer. So who besides Wesker?
Salazar.
I'm only 20 years old.
Like, just this little creepy inbred man.
He's so good. He's such a shit. Like, that's the thing. Like, he's gnawing on that scenery. It's great. And for me, it's Resident Evil 5 Chris.
Oh.
Because old Bison Arms Redfield himself. Because fucking hell, what a man.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen that there is an in-canon explanation for why Chris is so fucking stonked in that game?
Because isn't it that after he lost Jill in the DLC that they do for that game, he's like, I'm going to get so buff that I can protect everybody around me and I never lose a teammate again.
It's that, but there's a twist.
Okay.
So you got it almost exactly right, but there's one thing you missed out, and that is that. In the games, Albert Wesker has superpowers, and Chris gets his fucking ass handed to him by Wesker in a hand-to-hand fight.
So he needs to get as powerful as the superpowered man.
Yeah, so he just hits the gym and puts on like 150 pounds of muscle so that he can match the physical capabilities of a man with superpowers. One of the little details that I adore about Resident Evil 5 is that, do you know when you do the melee attacks against Wesker, and Wesker just no-sells it?
Oh, yeah.
If you zoom in and slow down Chris's face, you can see he grimaces in pain every single time he punches Wesker.
Oh.
Because punching Wesker is like punching a brick wall. But at the same time, he does not grimace when he punches an actual boulder. Like, he body check, and that's the thing I love about that scene, because he doesn't just push it, he works the body.
He does, as if the boulder's gonna get weak and give up.
He does.
It does. And that's the thing is, in all of those games, I actually prefer playing as the female characters, but it's just more the fact that Resident Evil 4 and 5 have so much more personality in them.
Yeah.
Because the crazy action bullshit you're allowed to do in those games.
Yeah, and for antagonists, like I really, really like Nemesis, but that's, again, because he was my main in Ultimate Marvel, and I'm just all about them dirty noodles. I'm all about those, those ramen bowl setups, but I think, I want to say Lady Dimitrescu, because the design is so strong, but her characterization is so thin.
Okay.
Spoiler, she's not in that game for long, so I think I end up liking Heisenberg quite a lot, just because in my head he's just Nick Cage.
Fair.
The actor sounds exactly like he's channeling Nick Cage. So all the time I play, it's just like Nick Cage is shit talking me, and I'm like, I'm okay with this. This is exactly the level of schlock I want for a Resident Evil game. And let's move on a little bit. We'll go back to the Tyrant, that concept, and it all looks rad as fuck. Lucas, did you know he's in Monster Hunter World?
Yes, somebody was saying this on stream. You can change your handler to be Mr. X, and he turns up in the cutscenes as your handler.
Yeah, what? He's in Monster Hunter. Not as a monster that you hunt, as a guy who helps.
Yeah.
So we have here some notes and trivia about Mr. X. So over the years, the T-00 has been given many nicknames in official media, though none are canon. One of the most used nicknames is Mr. X. So here we go. A name that has never been used in Resident Evil 2. It is possible this name was a result of a mistake on Capcom USA's part, as in multiple occasions it gave out early concept art of the T-00 to licensees, which included one known as the Tyrant X.
Oh.
And that's very on brand for Capcom, a company who, fun fact for people at home who may not know this, once spelled their own company's name wrong. Assuming this, the first instance of Mr. X was Game Fans' Resident Evil 2 guide, which was published alongside the game, written in 1997. An action figure, also known as Mr. X, was released in 1998 by Toy Biz. So it seems like one of those things where it's like just a telephone game of history. Mm-hmm. It was all spawned from this one mistake on one bit of marketing material, and now just Mr. X.
Or Thomas the Tank Engine, depending on what mod you put on.
Can we just talk about... Because I saw that one.
Yeah.
And then I saw the one people did for RE8, where the only change they make is that the baby just has Chris's head. That's the only change they've done. The inclusion of a fedora on the T-00's outfit in the remake was to emphasize its intended purpose for covert operations. Lucas, how big is this thing in game?
He's like 8-9 foot tall.
That's on the level. Have you ever seen like those early Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoons where
Where
they wear
have the
fedoras.
trench coats and the fedoras, yeah.
Like, that's somehow supposed to make them less conspicuous.
Yeah, just 4 turtles in trench coats, that's fine.
4 guys in trench coats is the most suspicious shit ever.